Guys, my name is Jay or the 8 and welcome back to another episode of the Space Engineer Spotlights, where today we are looking at a hauler. Because if you guys didn't follow the stream on Saturday, which for some unknown reason did not save to YouTube, then you would not be informed about the fact that I was building a civilian cargo hauler sort of ship. And that got me interested in what the hell else is on the workshop that other people have done that is fairly new that I could perhaps look at for inspiration. And today we are looking at the Dionys hauler by Wolverind. Now this thing is pretty damn cool. I like it. It's all vanilla, as most of the things that I'm sort of spotlighting currently are. And it just looks pretty sleek and pretty nice. And it does have planetary capabilities, so you can take this onto a planet and all that gubbins, which is really nice to know, because things that I think what puts people off ships nowadays is the fact that they can't go on planets, because that really does limit you. And you know, it depends on what kind of ship it is, but for a cargo hauler you really need to be able to go on a planet, because why not? Why would you want to limit yourself in that way, especially if you're delivering awesome goods around the galaxy? So, Dionys is a Roman god, to his description, and it's a Roman god of luxury, goods and wine. For whatever reason, let's have a god for that. I'm Roman, whatever. So, yeah, so I like the colour scheme it's got going here. It's got a bit of, it's got quite a lot of off-whites and yellow in there, as well as the red for the cargo containers, which really makes it pop and kind of gives it that I don't know, it just looks a lot nicer with this. However, I believe this does make it kind of an easy target. It does have defense with all these turrets around it, but if you colour something to stand out in a ship, you really do put it at risk of being shot at first, because yes, your machine guns will negate a lot of the rocket fire that comes in at the ship, but you know, just one or two rockets that get through could easily penetrate this and destroy your very precious cargo. So I think maybe the red could be used somewhere else, because again, that's a little bit of an issue for me. But other than that, I really like it. I like the use of the fact that he's got these solar panels slapped on the back, which just add to the power for this thing. So it just gives it that additional bit, as well as makes it look a little bit nicer. I like the additional length on the end. That is indeed what she said. But yeah, now this is probably the most uninformed of videos, because I haven't actually had a look inside this at all, bar the pictures, because why the hell not? It bothers you guys a lot, but oh well. Let us go in and try and find out how to get into this thing without a freaking clue. So we do have a door on the bottom, which is for a small little cargo area, which I believe has a extendable connector on, which is quite a nice and neat idea. But we should have some doorways knocking around. And then we've got a little antenna as well, which looks really cool. And here we go. So on the back we have a doorway. Now there isn't really anything else on the back. I like the staggered thrusters. That looks really cool. It really does give it that extra oomph. And I do actually have my other cargo hauler in the background here, which is quite cool. Mine's a bit bigger, but his has probably got a lot more to it than mine. So yeah, let's go in through the back door and let's go and have a gander inside. So we do have a camera up here, which I'm only presuming is for security, because you want to see what the hell is behind you, as well as who is coming into the ship, because you know, that's a bit of an issue if you don't know who, what, when and why. So go through this sort of airlock, which as usual just blasts us around. We have a nice sign up here that indicates that it is indeed an airlock, and we're in sort of the main control area instantly. So that's probably the main reason for the camera, because this leads directly into the sort of the control room, which might be a little bit of an issue, especially if you are being raided or attacked by privateers. So I like this though. It's a nice airy sort of area to look around. We've got some buttons that do bits and bobs as well. We can turn the turrets on and off, so we can stop them from spinning. We also have the battle systems, which we can put online. Battle systems offline. What's that? Blast doors. So we can put the blast doors on, which, oh wow, if you look, we actually have blast doors that cover the side windows and probably some of the other windows that are within the ship, and we can open and close them quite nicely. So we do have a bit more protection against sort of raiding parties, which is nice and good. We also have some interior turrets for protection on the back door, which is again good thinking, because people get in here and they could just go straight for your captain and just kill him. But you've got some turrets that can maybe keep them off for a little bit. Of course, they don't replenish with ammunition, so you would have to keep an eye on the stocks there. But yeah, we then have a central cockpit, which I would probably imagine this is what the captain would use more often, because it's a lot more protected and within the craft, or in fact the pilot would use this. So we've got a bit better protection in here than being up on the main bridge, which has got glass, and this front door. But if you come down here, you're kind of protected. You've got this bit in between you. Nobody can really see you until they get down these stairs, if they get down these stairs, because the turrets are defending you, and it's just a good position overall. So we have some screens here which are just indicating the turret counts and whatever else, as well as any sort of reactor inputs and outputs. We also have some programmable blocks, if I can say the word. And then we have a staircase. Now, we have two staircases that lead down to this central section, and we only have one staircase that leads down to the other way. I kind of like how it's sort of odd. I like this sort of uneven build, because you've got like the air over here, that's great, and then you've just got this one entrance, so it kind of filters into this one main entrance, which is a good thing. So we'll close the door and we'll head down, in which we have a nice little table here, which I presume is okay, so these are parts that are in transit and whatever else. We've got like this here. We've also got a screen that's detailing all of our stock and what we're actually carrying on board. We even have a nice window into where we've got the grav gen and the reactor as well, which is cool. So let's go into the medical bay. If we shut that door behind us and head through here, we actually have this door here, which I'm not sure where it leads, and then we carry on. So this door leads into, okay, so this does actually lead into the med bay. I think this would do better with maybe colour coordinating the doors a bit more, so blue, and then have this one a different colour. That would probably make a bit more sense. Maybe that was just forgotten about, I'm not sure. It just seems a bit weird going from blue to red, because I thought this was a completely different room to the med bay, because it was a different colour. So that's what my brain says, but I don't know, it's quite nice, quite compact. We've got the oxygen up there tucked away. We've then got the med bay and a cryo chamber, as well as a seat, so we can have a seat down there. And then there is that connector that I was talking about that can extend out of the bottom of the ship for large transfers of material. We do have static ones as well, which are more for ships. So if small ships come in and park up with this craft and move materials around, they can do. So let us go through the doors. And through this one, and this brings us to where? That's the common room, okay. And this is the cargo bay, and that's the escape bay, because we do also have 3, I believe, escape pods, which is good. So cargo bay, and we look here, we have buttons up the top, and if we close this door, what we can do is we can open the doors. As you can see, we depressurize, because this is a pressurized environment. No thanks to me opening that door and letting the oxygen in. But once we open this, we can reverse the piston, which extends. Now, I'm not sure of the extension of this piston, but I think it might just be the one, maybe. But it's great position, and I actually like the asymmetric design of the cockpit as well. If you've noticed that, it's actually on the one side, the cargo bay, which is again really cool. And these ground down parts really give it that extra niceness. Now, the issue I've got with this is it doesn't really extend any further than this one. So what is the point? Because surely That, yes, is a better position to hook onto, but again, it doesn't come out any further. So would you want that to come out further so you could hook on a bit better? Perhaps I would say yes. So that may be a little bit of a downside to this, but I can live with it. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not gonna make the ship blow up. So, you know, nothing bad's happened yet. He says, touches wood, touches face, touches everything, and hopes and prays to the mighty clang that nothing breaks. Okay, so that's come up now, so we can close the door, and we're gonna leave that to do its thing and depressurize that whole place. Close that door up, and then we'll head to the escape pods, which are just through here. Now I'm interested to see what he's done with the escape pods, because I've also been building escape pods for my ship. So these are literally it's a door, and basically he's made these so they fit through the door, and they're on connectors. So if you actually see in there, there is a connector there that's holding this on, and I'm guessing if you jump inside, yes. So you can open up the doors for the escape bay, and then you can launch. I like that system. Reason why is because you've got a bit of protection on the actual drop bays. Mine actually doesn't have any protection, which you know, it may be a bit of a weak point, but it doesn't really bother me. And then it does say up here, 3 pods ready. So I think the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to pop back up to the bridge. And once we are up in the bridge, we are going to take a flight down to the planet that is below us. And once we are there, we are going to jump on those pods, and we're going to just try and see how they fare against the planet. So what we've got to do now is just slam downward. And we can also take a look at what controls we actually have on the ship. Now, it does move pretty slowly, if you've noticed. Pretty damn slow indeed. But we should get into the gravity field of the planet soon. And then we shall begin the descent, and we can just leave it to do its own thing. We're only going like 27 meters a second, which is very, very, very slow. Let's just hope this thing can actually keep up in the air. So what buttons do we actually have here? We have battle systems, we have the offline and the online, we then have the rocket launchers which are on the front, we have one of them. We have the flight mode for planets, we have the flight mode for space, we have the cargo bay hangar doors which we can open, the piston for the cargo bay, the connect for the cargo bay, the landing gears, and then we also have the oxygen generators and literally everything. Now I like wolverind for this because you've just got all the controls on one sort of seat, which just makes sense to me, because yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this baby from 5 to 4. So we're going to go 5, which should I'm guessing shut down the thrusters, and we're going to hit 4. Yeah, so what that has done is that's toggled off all of the thrust for space flight, but it's then toggled on all of the thrust for just planet flight. So we should land this now, because we do have quite a lot of up thrust. We do actually have 2 large atmospheric thrusters there, if you've noticed. And how far are we away? We're about 6,000 meters out now. So we should survive, he says. And I actually think this is where my cargo hauler thing actually struggles, because at the moment it just about makes it onto the planet's surface, and I feel like I need to make it look a bit bulkier and add on that additional thrust just to make sure it lands every time first time, because if not, people are going to use it and it's going to crash. And this is why I like looking at other builds, because I can see exactly what the people are doing and not intentionally copy them, but take some of the ideas and some of the design ideas and implement them on my own design and make it my own. So that's a whole design process. You take something that already works and you sort of improve on it, make it better, and implement it in your designs. And that's basically what I do on a day-to-day basis when I'm at work. So it's great. It's great. So Zed, Nurse Dampeners, I found a bug. Oh, space engineers, how you surprised me. Now, for any of you that don't know space engineers that well, that shouldn't have done that. It should have... I've got the atmospheric thrusters on. You can tell by the fact that the thrust is actually trying its hardest to push me out of the atmosphere. But if you notice, this ship is not taking anything. It just doesn't want to do it. So that is a fault of Space Engineers, because this ship should have survived that, and I can prove that by actually taking the craft and dropping it in from the blueprints menu, because well, I can, but it won't be in planet mode, so it'll probably sink ever so slowly. So let's get this, and what we'll do is we will rotate it, and then we'll drop it in. Drop it in a bit high, because I'm going to have to jump in and swap over its... Oh, hang on. Okay, so all the thrusters are on when you paste it in, which is a bit weird. But being as it does say planetary flight, I need to turn off the ion thrusters. But maybe they're giving it the additional thrust it needs. Maybe. Maybe. Let's go in and we'll hit... What was it? We've got 4 and 5, haven't we? So we've got 4, which is for planets. So... without the ion thrust, yeah. So this thing sinks, apparently, into the floor. I really think Space Engineers might be a little bit broken. Ah! Shit! Fucking turd. What the fucking shitballs on a stick? Well, I definitely think Space Engineers broke the game. Well, I definitely think it's just broken. Because the atmospheric thrusters weren't really giving that much thrust. Whether it was too heavy, I don't know. But it definitely shouldn't have done that. So, that has been the Dionys Hauler by wolverind. If you guys have enjoyed looking at this ship, ignore the flaws of the game. Go and check it out on the workshop. I'll leave a link in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't by any chance enjoyed this video, then you know exactly where that damn button is. And I will see you guys later. Peace!